Hey everyone, happy Easter Eve. It's been a few days since we practiced together. Today's been a bit uneventful, but I thought I would offer you just a relaxed bedtime flow, something just very restorative, not necessarily following the traditional yoga fit lesson plan per se, but just some nice gentle stretches to help you kind of relax and move into the night, into your evening. If you practice, if you celebrate Easter, happy almost Easter. This Easter looks a lot different than what our Easters usually look like. So I pray and I encourage you to find ways to make it celebratory for yourself, and if you have children, for them too. I know that mine, especially my youngest, is grieving a non-traditional Easter. She's grieving the inability to give hugs and kisses to our extended friends and family. So during this challenging time, I encourage you to seek for joy. Jesus is still risen, despite our current situation. So let's find ways to practice hope together as we enter into this day of celebration. I wanted to share with you my card before we begin our practice. Today the theme was growth and change. Today I accept my past and consider how it has shaped my life. Help me perceive trials as catalysts for growth. So I encourage you to do that as well. How can we use this time of social distancing as a catalyst for our growth? As we begin our practice, I want you to come into that easy seated pose. Just bring the backs of your hands to your knees. Sit up nice and tall for me. Roll those shoulders back. You can close your eyes if you like, and let's just practice some yoga breaths. Inhaling, allowing the belly to expand and the chest to rise. And exhaling, allowing the chest to fall and the belly to flatten. Relaxing the shoulders down away from your earlobes. Finding some peace and quiet within the caverns of the mind. Shutting out the worries and the stresses of the day. Not allowing the news feed, the social media feed to invade the sacred time. But instead to focus on the breath, to focus on the rise and fall of the belly. And as we do that, settling into your sits bones, allowing that root chakra to find root in the earth beneath you. Envisioning the roots spreading out beneath the body, securing you in this space. From here, I want you to open your eyes if they're closed. Let's bring the soles of our feet together for a gentle butterfly. Drawing the heels in towards your groin. Squeezing your glutes and releasing the knees towards the floor. Sitting up nice and tall. Imagine that apple is resting right underneath your chin. Continue with those yoga breaths. And on your next exhalation, let's slowly bring the chest forward, drawing the chin towards the tops of the feet. And then we'll slowly round your back, coming all the way up to the top. Let's straighten your legs for a gentle staff pose, sitting up nice and tall. Again, evenly on the sits bones. They're still rooting us into the earth. Inhale, bring those arms overhead. Exhale, let's reach it forward, leading with the heart. Try not to round the back. You can place your hands on your shins, your ankles, or you can wrap them around your feet. Keep that apple underneath the chin and your eyes focused on the shins, the ankles, or the feet, so we're not creating a bend in the back of the neck. Nice deep breaths. Exhale, see if you can sink a little deeper into the pose on that exhalation. And then we'll release. You're gonna come all the way back up. Let's bring those feet back. Let's come up onto our knees and let's practice our gate pose. So for gate, we're gonna extend your right leg out to the side. Right arm up. You're gonna lean to the left. And then we'll go in the opposite direction, bringing the right arm overhead, rolling that right shoulder back. On your exhale, we're gonna bring this left arm down to your mat and reach that right arm all the way over. Again, rolling your shoulder back. And then reverse. Inhaling, reaching over. Exhaling, reverse. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale, reaching over. Exhaling, reverse. Good, come back up. Let's bring that leg in. Yogi, stay here. I have a wanderer. Let's extend that left foot out to the side. Right arm comes up, reach it over. Nice big inhale. Exhale, let's switch to the opposite side. Rolling the shoulder back. Yogi, get up here. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, reverse. He likes to swim in the lagoon. Last time. Rolling the arms, the shoulder back up to the top. Good. Let's come back onto your knees and let's find our cat-cow. So your shoulders are directly underneath your hips, knees directly underneath, wrists directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Take a nice big inhale and drop your belly for me, lifting your eyes to the sky. And then exhale, rounding your back all the way up. Bring that navel in and up towards the spine. Good. Separating those shoulder blades. Yes. And then inhale and reverse. Let's do 3 more times here. Last time, exhaling, rounding that spine. And then coming back to a flat back. Great job. Let's tuck those toes under and let's lift into our downward facing dog. Hands or shoulders distance apart, feet are hips distance apart here. You can keep your knees softly bent if you're being mindful of the lower back. Let's go through a modified flow here. Let's come down to your knees. Point the toes, place the tops of the feet flat on your mat. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. We're gonna take those elbows straight back and lower the chest towards the floor. Slightly lifting the hips and then drawing the chest forward for either cobra, halfway pressing up, or you can practice a full upward dog. Straightening the arms completely. Good. Tuck those toes under and back. Let's lift it up and walk those hands back towards the feet. And let's round your back, coming all the way up to standing. Good. Inhale those arms overhead. Check and make sure your feet are directly underneath your hips. Exhale the feet. Bring the palms in front of the heart, tucking your tailbone under, drawing the navel again in and up. Rolling your shoulders back. Let's take your left leg and step it back and find our first warrior. So if you look at my feet, they're not right in front of one another. The front foot is slightly to the side. Back toes are pointed out. Front toes are pointed forward. Squaring up the hips and shoulders with the front of the mat. Exhale, let's start to bend the knee. Make sure you don't feel any sensation in the knee joint. Rolling the outside of the back foot into your mat. Lifting those eyes to the sky, open active fingers. Good. On your next inhale, we'll lift slightly and we'll find our second warrior, releasing those shoulders. Look across the top of the middle finger in front and then turn and find the middle finger in the back. Back to the front. Inhale, let's reverse. So that forward hand is up now towards the ceiling. Rolling the shoulder back. Reaching for the wall behind you. Nice little pop there. Back to your second warrior, and let's move into our side angle. So our right forearm is resting right on top of the left quad. Our left arm is coming up and over. Let's roll that shoulder back. And release. Bring those hands into the front. Downward facing dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Rolling one vertebra at a time, bringing those shoulders back. Good. Inhale, eyes to the sky. Exhale, bring the palms in front of heart center. Let's step forward with your left foot. Toes, hips, and shoulders rotated forward. Back toes are pointed out slightly. Inhale, arms overhead for your first warrior. Rolling the outside of the foot. Good. Feel that glute and back activate. On your inhale, we'll lift slightly. Find your second warrior. Look across the top of the middle finger. And then across the top of the back middle finger. Back to the front. Let's turn that forward hand up and let's tip it back. Rolling the shoulder open. Opening that throat and heart chakra. Inhale back to warrior two, and then let's transition into our side angle. Left forearm on top of the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over. Rolling the shoulder back. Good. On your exhale, let's bring those arms around. One on either side of the foot. Let's press it back. Again, we're going to walk those hands back towards your feet and roll it up. One vertebra at a time. Great. We're going to practice a balancing pose here. Let's rotate your ankles. Both sides. And then we're going to come to balance on your right. We're going to practice tree. So go ahead and spread those right toes. You can place the left foot beside the ankle, the calf, or you can bring it up into the inner thigh. Find a focal point. Hold the eyes there. Draw the navel again in and up. That's going to help with stability. It's going to protect your lower back. You can hold there. If you need to add the branches, you have that option. The key word being option. Bring those hands back together. Let's shift this foot in front of the thigh and let's find our standing pigeon. You can hold on to the wall or to a chair if you need to balance. Good, let's press it up. Rotate. And then we'll switch to the opposite side. So we're gonna spread the left toes. We're gonna bring the right foot up either to your ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. Hold it there. If you need the added challenge of extending those branches, you have that option. Keep your eyes fixated on that one set spot. Good, let's bring those hands back together. Let's shift the foot in front of the quad, kind of right in the middle. And let's have a seat, spreading those toes. Hi, baby. What are you doing? You're on camera right now. And then press it up. Rotate your ankle. Both directions. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, let's swan dive forward. We're gonna flow through again with a sun salutation. You can modify like we did the first time by bringing your knees to your mat, or you can keep them up this time. Inhale, find your plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Those elbows are going straight back. Inhale, bringing your chest through. Exhaling, find your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and come down and find your child's pose. Tuck those toes under and walk your fingers forward. Good. Really walk those fingers forward. Stretch it out. Hey, Mick. And release. Walk it all the way up. We're going to come to a seated position on your mat. You're going to separate your feet. We're going to find a seated straddle. Stay up nice and tall on those sits bones. The shoulders are rolled back. Let's start to walk those hands forward. Stop at any time it becomes sharp or uncomfortable, and then back it up a bit. You just want to be to a place where you feel a gentle pulling sensation in the groin and in the adductors. Make sure there is no tension in the back of your neck. And go ahead and walk your hands back up. Bring those feet in. We're going to straighten your right leg. The arms wrap around the left knee. Stay up nice and tall. Make sure that knee isn't falling open to the side. We're going to wrap our right arm around that left knee. We're going to place the left hand flat on your mat, toes pointing straight behind you. They're not pointing towards your hip. And then you're going to turn and look towards the back of your mat. Back to the front. Let's switch that out. So let's bring your right knee into your chest. Let's wrap that left arm all the way around it. Let's take our right hand. Let's press it into the mat. Those toes are pointing behind you, not towards your hip. Let's turn and look over that shoulder. And we're going to turn back to the front. Good. Bring those feet in. I'm going to encourage you here to do a couple of things. You can stay in a nice, easy seated position, or if you want to come all the way back into your Savasana, I want you to put your feet flat. Inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, slowly rolling back one vertebra at a time. Opening up the chest and releasing the backs of the hands towards the floor. Go ahead and allow those feet to fall open as well. And you can stay there if you like. I'm going to finish the short practice tonight with a little reading, a little bedtime story for you from our yamas and niyamas. Wherever you're at, whether you're in Savasana or you are in just an easy seated pose, want you to just take a moment and try to relax any areas where you might still be holding on to some tension. Whether it be the muscles of the face, the shoulders. I just want you to allow everything to soften. Allow the chest to relax, the belly and hips as well. Just allow your legs to grow heavy and just allow the entire body to sink a little deeper into your mat. For tonight's reading, I've chosen the niyama of Saucha, which is purity. Saucha invites us to purify our bodies, our thoughts, and our words. As we purify ourselves from the heaviness and clutter of toxins, distractions, and scatteredness, we gain clarity to meet each moment with integrity and freshness. We become more pure in our relationship with each moment. The yogis have many practices to purify their bodies. Some may make us react with a no way, not in my lifetime attitude, like running string through the nasal passages and out through the mouth. Other purifying processes may be easier for us to engage in, or at least to try, like a neti pot. Breath practices and postures are means of purifying the body, as are meditating and following an ethical system, like the yamas and niyamas. We can say what we want about these practices, but one thing is clear. The yogis place a high priority on purification. Why this importance? There's a great energy that lies mostly dormant within each of us. This is the energy of consciousness or awakening. We have all at times felt the movement of this energy, movements when tears silently well into our eyes with the stirring of overwhelming love, moments when beauty stops us and captures us in wonder, moments when contentment and well-being ooze from our pores, moments when the life force pulses through us like electricity, making us vibrant and young. Moments when deep wisdom bathes light on our unknowing. Moments when awareness comes to us in technicolor. These are small tastes of what happens as the energy within us awakens. To practice the guideline of purity is to engage in cleansing processes, both physical and mental, that prepare us for those kinds of experiences all the time. Cleansing doesn't have to be earth-shattering or weird to begin. Cleansing doesn't have to be earth-shattering or weird to begin to work its magic. It might take the form of increased physical exercise, increased water intake, a day of fasting on juice and fruit, or perhaps just a day of cleansing our closets. In any way that we would hold on to past wounds, we injure ourselves and keep ourselves from the ability to be pure with what is current in our lives. Forgiveness of self and other is the most generous gift that we can give ourselves. In this country, we almost obsess about cleanliness, but we pay little attention to purity. Cleanliness is a process of scrubbing the outside of us. It changes our outer appearance. Purification works on our insides and changes our very essence. In order to be pure with something, we're asked to do a lot of subtraction. We have to subtract all of our ideals, illusions, and expectations of what should be and how we want it to be. We even have to drop our image of purity itself to begin to live in the oasis of this jewel. When we find ourselves stuck in a traffic jam, disappointed with our meal, tripping over messes in the house, being stuck inside in the middle of a pandemic, or dealing with a crabby family member, we're invited to simply be with these times in a pure way and not to judge them as impure moments. And in conclusion, perhaps the most difficult place to practice purity is with ourselves. Be honest. How many expectations and illusions do you impose on yourself? Rather than planning ourselves, what if we practice unplanning ourselves? Instead of striving to become someone lovable, what if we loved ourselves fiercely as we are? Instead of managing ourselves, what if we loosened the reins? The question remains for each of us to answer. Can you be pure with yourself in each moment? Or in the words of Anthony DeMello, can you leave yourself alone? Being pure with ourselves means we are not afraid of our thoughts or our feelings, and we do not have to hide anything from ourselves. Matthew Sanford, speaking from the experience of an accident that left him paralyzed from the waist down, says, "I am not afraid of my sadness. My sadness is an incredible gift that allows me to be with people who are suffering without trying to fix them." Matthew invites us to simply and fearlessly be with all of the pieces of ourselves. Being pure with all the pieces of ourselves increases our staying power with our own suffering, intimacy, joy, boredom, pain, and anxiety. We become safe with ourselves, and we become a safe place for others. And that concludes our practice this evening. I hope to see you at least 2 more times this week for some additional practices. I hope this practice finds you well. And I hope that you can experience purity this week with yourself, and that others will find that they are safe to be pure with themselves in your presence. And with that, we'll finish up. In conclusion, we say namaste. Divine light within me honors the divine light in you. I'm so thankful that you were able to practice with me. See you soon.